morning. It's still Rapid TV's morning telecast of programs, and this is KORERO, Rapid TV's social, political, and general interest show where we get to delve into all kinds of conversations. I am Nkamian John, known to many as the controversial but also as the beloved. Well, today on the show, we will be beaming our searchlight on the subject of road infrastructure, especially across the country, with special bias for the 700-kilometer Calabar Lagos coastal road, and of course, for us, most importantly, road infrastructure construction and rehabilitation in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Now, under the radar for a lengthy period and after its conception, the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway has finally taken off under a storm of controversies. And of course, if you know me, I like controversies. Now, a 700-kilometer turnpike infrastructure, the project has attracted commendations and condemnation in equal measure since the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration approved it in the month of February. Now, for a country with a legacy of woeful infrastructure, it is an ambitious undertaking by any government. Now, the project is screwed, having gained traction under Goodluck Jonathan and Muhammadu Buhari, the two presidents who preceded Bola Ahmed Tinubu. From a 4-lane double carriageway, it has been expanded to a 10-lane highway and will run from Lagos in the southwest and end at Calabar, the capital of Cross River State, in South Nigeria. So far, it is the largest single infrastructure in Nigeria and will traverse 9 states, including Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, and two spurs of the north. To be constructed in stages, starting from the 1.3-kilometer Lagos end and the Calabar end in the month of July. The duration of the construction is 8 years. Supposedly, the tenure of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, according to the current Minister of Works, David Umahi, and will gulp about 4 billion naira per kilometer, or 15 trillion naira plus, thereabout. So this is where the controversy begins, because when we're talking about road infrastructure in Nigeria, most times it is discussed from the political standpoint. But today, I'm going to go all technical with infrastructural development in Nigeria, and with particular bias for the 700-kilometer coastal road, and of course, the FCT, from where our signals are resonating from. But just to give you an insight into the much talked about 700-kilometer coastal road from Calabar to Lagos, sit back and watch this reportage as put together by a young man who's tried to x-ray the entire project. And when we come back, we'll get to meet my guest, who is a civil engineer and has come out with a very unique, I don't know how to call it. Will I call it a gadget? No, not a gadget, but a very unique product for road infrastructure, that especially road infrastructure in Nigeria that has suffered abuse, neglect, and poor maintenance over the years. All that and more on this edition of KORERO. Thanks for staying with us. And if you're just tuning in, this is KORERO and Rapid's evolving social, political, and general interest show right here on Rapid TV, channel 176 on Star Times. I am Nkamiang John, the beloved, also known as the controversial. The show is live and interactive on all our social media platforms, and as always, I implore you to follow and like Rapid TV. Don't forget our handle is at official Rapid TV on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Instagram, and of course all you need to do is follow and like, and get to follow developments on Rapid TV. To contribute to the show, don't forget to use the hashtag KORERO, and you get to be part of the conversation on the show. Today, we are beaming our searchlight on the subject of road infrastructure across Nigeria, what with particular bias for, of course, the Calabar Lagos coastal road that you saw a bit of it from the Lagos, Lekki Lagos end. Is supposed to run through a number of states and eventually terminate in Calabar, the capital of Cross River State, South Nigeria. Of course, here in the FCT, talking about the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says his administration will construct Gwagwa Karimo to Day Road to ease traffic congestion faced by commuters plying the axis. The minister made the pledge while inaugurating the construction of access roads to Saberi 1 and 2 in Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, of the FCT today, Wednesday. The road begins from the Outer Northern Expressway, Murtala Mohammed Expressway, also known as Zuba Kubwa Expressway, to Old Kefi Road near Day International Market. The decision to construct the road follows a request by the AMAC chairman, Christopher Mekalangu, for the minister to consider expanding the road to ease traffic congestion. Now, joining me to have this conversation on the subject of road infrastructure across the country is a gentleman who also is very interested. He's a stakeholder in the, will I say, civil engineering sector. And he has a unique feature that, if taken or properly utilized, could add to the maintenance culture and longevity of Nigerian roads, starting from the FCT. At this point, I want to welcome ABDULLAHI, the Managing Director, CONELLI Engineering. Yes, Abdul, thanks for making our time to join us on this show.
Thank you for having me, John. We started CONELLI Engineering Limited purposely looking at the kind of issues that we have on our roads. Particularly, we focused on the issue of vandalization of facilities on those roads, particularly the drainage covers that are very rampant, and we are yet to see a full deployment of a solution that works. So when we came into the picture, interestingly, I was serving with the Department of Development Control
in the FCT.
Yes, when we conceived that idea, even before we registered the company or started any business operations. And that was driven by a desire to see that our road infrastructure lasts long and they are at their safest at every time for the road users. Now, we studied the problem and we realized this is a problem that has lasted over a decade, and it has been incessant in the sense that today you'd see a manhole, tomorrow you would come and see it missing. So we constituted a team to put the record straight. I'm an engineer, but not civil.
Okay.
Yeah, but we assembled a civil engineering team because whatever needs to be done to get the problem solved was needed to be done.
So what exactly would you say is the problem? Especially when it has to do, because the idea of having manholes is to facilitate maintenance, drainage.
Correct.
And then I know in the past, we used to run our telecommunications cabling underground in the good old days of NITEL. I know these days, I think we have some fiber optic underground cabling. Yeah, so these manholes were to make access for maintenance and, as I said, drainage of those roads, because some experts have attributed the lack of longevity for our roads as a result of the fact that most roads have poor drainage. And so once they retain water, that water erodes the surface of the road, and over time we begin to see potholes and cracks on those surfaces. So, so what would you say was the problem with this manholes that were intentionally developed to serve as a means of maintaining these roads? Okay,
so the manholes, as you said, provide access to underground infrastructure, cables, telecom cables, electrical cables, and the other ones who provide drainage facility. So the problem is that the covers of the manholes are made of steel.
Yes.
Now that steel is recyclable.
Okay.
Yeah, so people with interests, criminals, steal those metals and sell them on the black market and to all sorts of people who recycle them. Now, what we did was to see how we can provide an alternative that does not have that value that attracts them in the first place.
Okay.
And still provides the ability to cover the manholes, withstand the load, the point load that acts on it, and provide efficient drainage of the water on the roads. And we explored a lot of different materials and settled for concrete, which we have developed and secured all the regulatory approvals needed. And what, from the images that we shared, what you would see is that all the installations we've done, none have been affected by this problem of theft, because concrete in itself does not have second-hand value.
Okay, I'm going to come to, I think we have some pictures of what those innovations, the solutions you've provided. But most importantly, I think we need to see the video where the theft of the steel manhole covers is taking place. But ideally, I may be wrong, I may be right, but I think the theft of those manhole covers is criminal, and whoever buys them is also seen to be criminal, because they are government assets.
Yes, so it is criminal, but you need to catch a criminal first, which is another big problem. For instance, now making reference to this current new project of the 700 kilometer.
Yeah.
Now, how do you secure a 700 kilometer stretch of a road? You understand? So until you catch the criminal and apprehend him, and that is only when you can bring him to book and he faces the wrath of the law. But before then,
the damage has been done.
The damage has been done, and it's continuously being done, because you are yet to have the required security apparatus to be able to stop this theft. Yeah. So these are the issues. And even when you catch them, there is a legal procedure that you have to follow, right? First of all, these items that you caught them with would be rendered as exhibits. And there would be a lot of legal processes that would take place before you even have the chance of getting it back. Don't forget, these manholes, the damage is already ongoing. People are falling into these holes, accidents, and like you said, once the hole is open, all sorts of debris
filters through.
Yeah, and then it brings about blockage, which brings about a lot of water logging and all of those things, which at the end of the day affects the quality and longevity of our roads. So if you look at it, we have to address the issue from a proactive point. Like this 700-kilometer stretch of coastal highway is a good opportunity for us to deploy some of these new ideas, new products, so that we don't have to deal with the problem through reactive measures. We don't have to suffer the problem again. If the contractors can deploy some of these new technologies on these new developments, then the attention and the resources can be committed to other things, and it makes maintenance easy.
All right, if you're watching, you can see the video of a young man actually taking the or stealing the steel covers of the manhole. So if you, just in case you don't know what the manholes are, those are the big gaping holes you find on the road. They are actually designed to give access to drainage, especially as we're entering the wet season, so that water doesn't stay on the road but goes into the water channels and the gutters that have been constructed under the roads. And what you can see there is the young man removing those steel manhole covers. And of course, your guess is mine, as good as mine, what he's going to do with those covers he has stolen. Now, Abdul Kadir,
Yeah.
you did say for the solution you have provided, you have looked at a material that has far lesser value than the steel covers that have been the original concept, and now you're using concrete. Now that makes me wonder, is that in line with what the Minister of Works has suggested, that moving forward Nigerian roads should be constructed with concrete rather than asphalt and coal tar that we've known well over the years? In fact, we saw in that report of the 700-kilometer Calabar Lagos coastal road that they're using concrete to construct that road. It's supposed to be 10 lanes on both sides, and we also understand a rail track is going to run in between the 10 or 20 lane road, as it were. Now, why concrete?
Because concrete is available, and this is literally approximately 100% of the materials used in the production of concrete are locally available in Nigeria. So when you are implementing a concrete project, economically, all the money stays in the country. And these are the kind of issues that have affected the recent forex crisis that we faced, that the government is seriously committed to addressing, and we have been seeing a lot of positive results coming out of that. So whenever we have let's say a project or an opportunity to save to reduce the importation and our need for forex, we have to go for that. That's just one part, and the economical part. The other part, from the technical angle, concrete has the durability. If you look at all the bridges that have been built, they are made of concrete, and the concrete has the ability to withstand the kind of load and traffic that acts on those bridges, at the end of the day, it's the surfacing that is made of asphalt. Now, if concrete can be made to have the kind of smooth and rough surface that would enable friction and allow for safe driving on the roads, then why not? Because approximately 90 to 95% of the bridge, for instance, is made of concrete. Yeah, so it's a way to save costs, to keep the economy, to support Nigeria's economy, and also to provide a material and roads that would last a very long time.
How environmentally friendly is concrete? Especially now that we are looking at you know, the ecosystem, yes, greenhouse effect, yes, weather, and all of those things, which over time have also been an issue with our roads. We are in the tropics where the rains are heavy. Yeah. We have more wet season than we have of dry season. Yeah. So in terms of concrete, how environmentally friendly is concrete?
When you talk about we have the wet seasons and the dry seasons and all of those things, concrete gives you the flexibility to really modify it to meet what you want out that you use to make a concrete either more durable or to be able to withstand some weather conditions that you would have that I don't think bitumen or asphalt even allows for that range of flexibility. So it's all about really what you want to use it for and how you design it. There are a lot of admixtures available. We have super plasticizers and other additives that are added to concrete to make it, including fiber reinforcement in concrete, and a lot of new technologies and new innovations going on. So I think concrete is a product that is right for these type of developments, including the environmental aspect, and it will cater for the needs of the project.
What about the aspect of cement? Yeah. In recent times, the federal government had to have series of meetings with cement manufacturers in the country to be able to keep the cement cost at a very affordable level. Yes. Isn't that a challenge for concrete road construction and innovations such as yours that rely on concrete and, of course, cement as part of the condiments that you use in putting it together? Isn't that a challenge?
Well, it is a challenge, but then challenges have to be overcome, right? This is the kind of thinking that led us to developing these solutions. Concrete cement production, one of the major problems is logistics. Apart from the price from the factory, which to a degree, I think doesn't change as much as because if you look at the logistics from maybe Taraba, price of cement is different, in Abuja price of cement is different, in Sokoto where some of the factories are, and in Ogun, you understand. So now with the new Dangote refinery and the recent production of AGO into the market, you can see that prices of a lot of logistics and haulage services has drastically dropped. As at today, I think a liter of diesel goes for about 1,000 naira, right? Which is a good development from 1,600 naira it was sold just weeks back. So as we move forward with large projects that are really Nigeria-centric, like the Dangote refinery, we approach a future where a lot of our costs of especially major commodities like cement would be relatively in control, and the prices would be in a better position, hopefully. But some of these things, we just have to hope for the best because there are no guarantees. There are a lot of moving parts that affect some of these things. I don't know the other aspect of the production in detail, but I know that the Dangote refinery, especially production of diesel, really has a huge impact on the price of cement because of the haulage. Because if you remember, BUA announced that they would bring the price down to 3,500 or so, but then they called it, that's ex-factory price. That is not the price that you find in the market, because different locations command different
pricing.
Yeah, because of the cost, of course. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a quick breather. When we come back, I would like to find out from you your innovation.
Yeah.
How has it been greeted
Yeah.
in the construction industry?
Yeah.
Where have you been able to implement that solution, and what has been the reaction since you've been able to bring this new innovation to the fore? All that and more after this break. Do stay with us. For staying with us. It's still KORERO on Rapid TV, and we are still discussing the subject of road infrastructure, especially with engineering firms like CONELLI Engineering coming with innovative ideas to help enhance the longevity of road construction across Nigeria. Here in the FCT, for anybody who's followed developments in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, will know that Abuja is a city constantly under construction, probably for another 50 years. And road infrastructure is a key part of the infrastructural development of the Federal Capital Territory and, of course, across Nigeria. I still have ABDULLAHI, Managing Director, CONELLI Engineering, an engineering firm that has come up with a highly innovative solution, especially in the wake of we wake up to discover that the manhole covers across various road networks, even here in the FCT, disappear overnight. And simply because of the value that the steel manhole covers attract. But for Abdul and his team, they say, hey, we have a solution. So Abdul, like as I said before we went on that break, how has your solution been greeted, especially here in the FCT?
So to start with, you see, these type of projects will never be possible without the support of, for instance, FCDA, because whatever you are introducing has to meet their specifications. It has to meet
their expectation.
Their specifications and all the requirements. And we have been working since 2017.
With 2017?
Yes. In fact, we started late 2016, but we got to the level of, we got ready to present to them in 2018. And then a lot of series of improvements have been ongoing and a lot of serious research. Now, before commencing on this work, I had a completely different impression of the government and the government agencies. And like most I would say, a lot of Nigerians. But during this project and attacking this problem, I saw the kind of willingness, you know, and that was very, very motivating to see that the regulators also care seriously about these problems. And that really helped us to reiterate. We failed a number of times.
Please emphasize that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because for most people, they don't talk about the failure part. They emphasize more on the successes.
Yeah. So we failed multiple times.
Wow.
Yeah, multiple times. Because I think almost all the prototypes that we developed, up to like 5 different prototypes that we developed, all did not meet either one specification or the other. So we had to keep improving. And the Department of Engineering Services in the FCDA was very thorough in ensuring that all these specifications have been met. But after we've met these specifications, then there wasn't any delay with giving us the approval to deploy. And now we've deployed in around approximately 5 locations, different locations. And
across the FCT?
Yeah, and a total of over 500 drainage covers in the FCT.
Wow.
Yeah. If you go to Pencom, Adetokunbo Ademola, by Pencom headquarters, you would see a lot of our installations there, and many other places like Maitama and IBB Way. And the interesting part is a lot of other private and individuals are also very, very interested in participating and contributing to this. So which makes me wonder, maybe if we actually give people the opportunity and people see the platform, within FCDA we received lots of encouragement, support to keep trying to solve this problem. The executive secretary of FCDA, the current executive secretary of FCDA, was one of the key people who, even when we get negative reports, and they would also tell us, go back, keep trying, try again, and come back. And we were quite resilient, because when you know that what you are doing is welcome, we really were not exposed to a lot of all these, you know, challenges around government agencies and the way they accept new proposals. They were very, very receptive. So, and even individuals, like I mentioned, some decided to fund just particular
streets.
No, maybe a few pieces. Yeah, they saw, like in Jamena, I think it's Jamena in Musetu, Jamena Crescent. Somebody saw and bought like 5 drainage covers, because we have the entire product series. We have the circular ones, we have the large square ones for the telecoms, and then we have the ones by the roadside. Yeah, the ones that drain the storm water. And people, even Equa Church, saw our product and decided to approach us because of to protect the worshippers and things like this. So it was really encouraging, and the acceptance was very good. And imagine if we are able to get this kind of support. Yes, we had so many challenges like funding and all of those things, but we were encouraged by the reception. Imagine the many other problems that Nigeria have. If we can push this, and this comes to you media people, if we can push this kind of positive narrative, I think I myself led a team to solve one problem, right? Another person can lead another team to solve another problem, and we can have hundreds of problems solved.
Abdul Kadir, we're looking at one of those drain covers right now on the screen.
Yeah.
Are you saying this is 100% produced Nigerian product?
This is 100% Nigerian product. The cement is Nigerian. The aggregates and the sand and everything that was used was sourced locally in Nigeria and produced. In fact, even the molds We fabricated them within our company and used them to cast and produce this product.
So, and right now, you already have over 500 spread across
the city.
different
Streets,
areas
yeah.
and streets in the FCT.
Yes.
So, with this success story, under the current administration of the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, are you saying in the next 2 to 3 years, we will see CONELLI drain covers all over the FCT?
Well, that would be a decision that would be taken by the Honorable Minister of FCT and, of course, the team he assigns to do that. But we know him as Mr. Project because right outside the street of this
Exactly. I'm glad you noticed.
Yeah, so I was really happy when I saw that he was coming on board because of how he handles projects and his commitment to seeing that the right thing is done. You know, it takes a very bold initiative to say, yes, we are going to do projects, but let's maintain what we already have. This is what we have been lacking for a very long time. And that is why you see a lot of abandoned projects, this and this, because we do not have a very good maintenance culture.
True.
Now, as Nigeria as a whole, we need to develop our maintenance culture. Let's maintain what we have and then expand to other things that we need and then maintain them also. So I believe I'm very optimistic that the problem of theft of drainage and manhole covers
has been solved.
We have done our part, and we believe and we are strongly optimistic that the government will do its part too.
So what's the lifespan of your average drain cover?
Normally, concrete products, unless they are exposed to a lot of other things, like maybe there is a heavy, let's say, a drilling facility exercise, or there is some kind of construction like this recent Greater Abuja Water expansion project that brings about a lot of, you know, restructuring and things. They can last very long, beyond 10 years.
Beyond 10 years?
Yeah, beyond 10 years.
And then, is there any special training required? Why I'm asking is for maintenance personnel, telecommunications, Abuja Electric, and the rest of them who may need to, you know, go through these manholes to carry out maintenance. Is there any particular kind of training they require to be able to open these manholes that have been covered by your solution and be able to put them back when they are done? Yes,
you see, usability is a very critical aspect of design and product development. So it doesn't make sense to, like I see many other places, they just pour concrete and cast the whole thing without considering water that would come and the need for drainage, without considering maintenance and all of those things. So we designed our product in a way that everybody can literally, every maintenance person can access it, remove it. You see, the biggest part of what we did was removing the value that attracts it in the first place. But we've made it a very simple product to use and maintain. So it's very easy to remove. From the design, you would see that we've allowed for sufficient drainage and then
access for water to drain.
And hands too, so that it can be lifted and removed for maintenance and replaced back.
So beyond this solution, is there another challenge that CONELLI is looking forward to tackling in the nearest future, especially with regards to road infrastructure?
Yes, particularly, I think that is one thing that we have aligned with this new. It was really interesting to see that the current Minister of Works,
David Umahi,
is looking at concrete roads, because in 2019, we actually constructed concrete road in Abuja here, in Bayes University.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is the next line that we are really focusing on, because we think concrete is really a material that can really serve Nigeria's road infrastructure needs. So,
some school of thoughts will argue that while we're looking at concrete, places like India are using recycled material like plastic to actually construct, how do they call it, sectional road construction, where the roads are constructed in sections, and if maintenance is required, they can actually remove that section and replace. That if countries like India are looking at those innovations and technological approach to dealing with road construction, why are we looking at concrete?
We have to look at, first of all, what we have. You see, the idea that whatever another country is doing, whatever this person is doing, we have to do it, I think it's one of those things that added to our problem and why we are here.
So we need to begin to look for internal solutions.
Internal solutions, and what works for Nigeria
may not work
because
elsewhere.
Our weather is different. Our raw materials available are different. Even our financial abilities are different. We don't have the kind of money that India has to be exploring on all sorts of things. We have to work with what we are sure can deliver. Yes, a lot of research can go on, like what we do at CONELLI Engineering. We do a lot of research. We test out different materials and products and see what the results are, and then take decisions based on the outcome of this research. But before then, while research is ongoing on things, we have to work with what we have. I believe no matter how much cubic meters of concrete that we need, Nigeria can attain sufficiency in producing that. But do we have sufficient plastic to,
It's said that Nigeria is one of the highest producer of plastic waste in Africa.
Yes, the plastic waste, right? I don't have the full details within the plastic industry because it's not my discipline. But what I'll say is even the technology to convert these plastics and use it for roads is still under development, because I cannot say many roads in the world have been, I don't even know any mega project that has been executed with plastic.
Using recycled plastic.
Because when you mention plastic, I think about heat. I think about the effect of the sunlight. I think about durability. I think about a lot of things, right? And how about, there are other aspects, the social aspect as well. What happens to people who are in the business of recycling plastic and cutting our roads off to go and recycle it?
just the same way they are removing
metal.
Our manhole covers.
Yes. So these are a lot of areas of concern, because the steel is free money, literally. It's free money. Because maybe they would catch 10 out of 100. And then before you go through the legal process, even the government is affected by the kind of legal procedures. Because there was a time that over 800 pieces were apprehended. But it takes a long time, and all of those things, people are still passing through the roads. They are injuring their legs, their cars, and sustaining a lot of accidents.
Well, at this point, Abdul Kadir, I really want to say thank you. But before you go, for other young Nigerians who are solution-driven, who are looking at various challenges facing for instance, the infrastructure sector of our great nation. You have broken through. You did talk about the fact that you failed severally before getting to this point and coming out with a successful product that has been accepted. What would you say to those young men and women who are aspiring to follow your footsteps?
First of all, I don't think I've succeeded yet until I see that Nigeria is free from theft of drainage covers. Then I would feel maybe we've done a little something, but we have a lot more to do.
Okay.
Yes, I should be building 700-kilometer concrete road.
Concrete.
Yeah, so because we think success to us is in impact. Until we've touched the lives of 200 million Nigerians, we still have a long way to go. So what I would say to young Nigerians is we aspire to create a ripple effect. We are working on this problem, theft of manhole covers. At least every Nigerian should have something they give to the country, right? If there is this perception that what has the country done for me, all of those things. I borrowed money to be doing all this research for the past 6 years, and I'll tell you it's still not yet profitable, because until 500 pieces is a very small, it's still like a test to us because of the amount of resources that we've committed. But we still persevered, and we do get a lot of other construction projects as a result of this work. So every Nigerian should have a commitment to give something to the country.
Give back.
Give back. Let's not even say give back, invest. It's about investing now, because we have to come together and build the country before it now gives back to us.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, once again, Abdul, thank you so much.
Thank you for
making our time to be with us on KORERO. Well, you heard, for Nigeria to give to you, you have to first invest. And over time, like a flourishing plantation, Nigeria will blossom and you will have something to reap from our great nation. That sums it up for this edition of KORERO. As always, we promise to keep our searchlight beamed on developments as they evolve, and of course our ears to the ground. Until we come your way tomorrow with another incisive edition and engaging conversation, it's bye for now.